What's going on, guys? This is Tyler from House of Cards TCG, and I am bringing you a new series. Shane and I entered a 16-man tournament, and that is hosted on Dragonrider's Yu-Gi-Oh! Online tournament. So make sure I got that right. Dragonrider's online Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament. So if you want to go play some online DB, Nexus, or anything like that, you can go check them out on Facebook, and then you can play in some of the tournaments that they host. So this is my round one. And you already know I'm playing with Eldlich, my hero Eldlich Dogmatica package that I run. And he's playing on Swordsoul. So this is my round one matchup. This is Matrix. He's got almost 900 ratings. So this is definitely a good matchup to have here. So for this round one, we're just going to get started. He went ahead and won the rock, paper, scissors. So he's going to go first. And in his opening hands, he's got Imperm, Veiler, the Dogmatica. He's got the Long Yun and the Swordsoul Emergence. And then I have my standard set 5 and pass, which is the Conquistador, TT, Judgment, Ice Dragon's Prison, and another TT. So he goes ahead, Emergence, adds the Mo Yi. Mo Yi summons, effect, reveal Long Yun, summons a token. And then he goes into the Yugioh, adds the Blackout. Long Young, he's going to send Vishuda. Vishuda's then going to bring in Long Young. Long Young is going to go ahead and burn me for 1200 and summon a token. And then those he's going to make Fleur-de-Lis with. Or Baron, I'm sorry, excuse me. And then he sets 2 and passes. His 2 are obviously Imperm and Blackout, which it's actually funny is looking at my hand, I'm wondering if I played around the Imperm column because I kind of figured that he was on the Imperm. So let's see where I set these next two. No, so I put Conquistador here. I figured he was going to pop something. So Conquistador is my least really effective trap here. It gets my Eldlich engine going, but my more power traps kind of set around his sets. I'm usually pretty good about playing around different set traps on that end. So his turn, he's going to go ahead and top deck the Mo Yi for turn, and then he's going to activate Baron, and he's going to target my TT, which was actually a perfect target because I have another one. So that was placed there. I'll go ahead and pop my TT, and then he's going to attack directly. I'm going to go ahead and Conquistador, which actually this Conquistador here worked because Imperm, he didn't have anything. I didn't control anything, so you couldn't activate Imperm to stall my Conquistador. So then his Baron's going to go into my Conquistador. He's going to attack me directly for 28, and then he's going to activate Blackout. And then I thought about this for a while on that one, and I was like, So he targeted 2 cards, and I was like, I'm not sure if I want to let that go because I need TT for next turn. And then I had Ice Dragon's Prison. So the judgment on the Blackout, I think, was correct. Even though it brought me down to 2,000 life points, I was already in a tough situation, but at least I had some follow-up and could out his board at this point. So May phase 1 on my turn, I top deck the Heavenly Prison. And then I'm going to go ahead and Ice Dragon's Prison, trying to bait this negate on the Baron because I have a Celestial that I can normal summon chain TT. So then my opponent goes ahead and activates the Yugioh, and he is going to go ahead and over here and banish the Vishuda, which is great because my IDP targeting Vishuda because I didn't want to have him bounce a card next turn. So I targeted Vishuda. He went ahead and chained that. I asked him to make sure, which one are you negating? And he said the Baron. I said, fantastic. So then I'm going to go ahead and normal summon Celestial, chain the TT, and clear his board. Now, this is pretty good, except my follow-up is not that good. I'll have a Scarlet and then a Heavenly Prison for a set next turn. And, of course, he's got Ecclesia and Mo Yi and Veiler, and his hand was nice. I'm not going to lie. So I set Scarlet, reveal, and declare its effect. And then his turn, he's going to go ahead and pass. I'm going to pass. And then he top decks another Long Young, which does not do well. He's got to decide here if he wants to summon Mo Yi or if he wants to summon the Long Young. I guess he decided to go with the Mo Yi. So he reveals Long Young, and he's going to bring out a token. And on this, he had asked if he can read my Heavenly Prison. He goes into the Dragite. And then I was asking him, I was just making sure that I had the ruling correct, which was if Dragite negates the activation, which it does, it negates the activation, then my Scarlet doesn't activate, which means my Heavenly Prison is dead in hand because at that point I'm not able to activate it, and then I can't summon my Heavenly Prison. And so basically that was it, and we go into game 2. So game 2, obviously I'm going to go first this game. My hand is actually pretty nice here. So I have a Wakero, Skill Drain, Pot of Prosperity, Torrential Tribute, and a Fusion Destiny. And he has a Gamma, Blackout, Veiler, Emergence, and a Tenyi. So his hand's pretty good against me. So we're going to Pot of Prosperity. We're going to banish 6. And then off the 6, you can see what I banish here. So my typical 6 I always banish. Imdunk is always in there. Just if I'm getting locked into the barrier statue, I can go ahead and link off one of my traps. But this is my standard 6. I've considered changing this and maybe taking this package out because it's literally never came up. Thought about it, but so we're going to go ahead and mill 6. And then on the 6 that we mill, we are obviously going to go ahead and grab the D barrier here. Eldlich doesn't do anything for us going first. Punishment's a nice card, but Strike's obviously nice. TT we already had, an IDP's nice, but nothing is better than when you're playing the Swordsoul Tenyi and you grab a D barrier. So we grab the D barrier, put all those back, and then we're going to go ahead and activate Fusion Destiny, dump the bricks, bring out our Enforcer. We're going to set, and then on his turn, so he went ahead and he top decks looks like a Tenyi or Moyi. He top decks a Moyi. So I was really surprised by this play. So he goes straight into the end phase. And I think that he was just trying to make his Gamma live was the reasoning for that. And then for me, he was trying to say that the Enforcer gets destroyed, which it wouldn't really make a difference here because just want to make sure I see that, but destroy it during the end phase on the next turn. So he was trying to force my Enforcer here by going to end phase. It gets destroyed. Chain the graveyard effect, chain Gamma just to get the Enforcer off the field. But I told him, I said, I can respond to go into the end phase. So I said, in end phase, he said, sure. My thinking was, well, I'm going to go ahead and pop my own Wakero, because if I can pop the Wakero, then I can go ahead and set a Scarlet and sets up my next turn to really do some damage, right? So I Enforcer, pop my Wakero, activate the Grave effect, and then that's when the Gamma comes down. Yeah, so activate Destroyer. I'm surprised that he actually, now looking at this, I'm surprised that he let my Enforcer resolve without, because he wanted to negate the Grave effect. The Grave effect was the one that he was trying to negate. So I plussed actually off of the Enforcer popping my Wakero to get the Scarlet, because either way it was the same result, was my Enforcer getting popped in the Grave, except now I have a Scarlet for follow-up on the turn. So he goes ahead and he brings out the Gamma, and then I pass. So here, main phase 1, I top deck a D barrier, which is broken, right? Especially against this hand right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to Scarlet, bring out the Lord, pop for 2,500, set the D barrier, Celestial, and of course my top deck is Celestial effect to banish Dasher and itself, draw 2, and I draw 2 Lord of Heavenly Prisons, which is actually an insane top deck on that draw 2, because now all my spells and traps are protected and he can't do anything with those. So I reveal Declare effect, and then I'm going to go ahead and battle phase, hit for 2,500 here, and pass. Then his top deck, he gets a Vishuda, which is actually a really nice card. So he's going to go ahead and activate the Emergence, grab the Long Young, probably, summon the Vishuda. Vishuda's going to go ahead and come out. He goes into the Tenyi, and then he's going to normal summon Moyi, reveal the Long Young or the Tenyi, doesn't matter here, right? And he's going to go ahead and bring out a token. And then here, I'm going to go ahead and activate Skill Drain. So I'm going to chain Skill Drain here. That's going to go ahead and negate the Moyi and not be able to bring out a token, as well as, I guess he could still bring out Long Young, but it can't use its effect. It does. So he could have Long Young, even under Skill Drain, still brought out a token and resolved some of his effects. I don't know how far that gets him under Skill Drain, but let's see what he does here. So I'm going to activate Heavenly Prison in response to the Skill Drain activation. And then I'm going to go ahead and set an Ice Dragon's Prison. I felt like with my back row of D Barrier, and then, so I have 2 D Barriers set and a TT. IDP was probably the best set that I could do there. So Vishuda effect, he's going to go ahead and bounce my Skill Drain. and then he's going to link those two off, and he's going to go into the new Tenyi. Well, not new, but the one that I haven't seen before, which this card is actually really good. It caused me problems in this matchup, which was if you attack or declaring attack is involving a face-up non-effect monster, which could be a token, it could be the link 1, then they get to basically pop a card on your turn. So he's going to go ahead and Long Young, burn for 12, bring out the token. I chain D barrier on that, so I stop him from the synchros. And then here he attacks into my Eldlich. That's going to make the Tenyi live, which is going to go ahead and pop a card. And he targets my Ice Dragon's Prison, which is probably the best play, honestly. He takes the damage. And then the Tenyi is going to go ahead, activate its other effect, which is discard a card and target one worm monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So he brings back out the Tenyi. And then on the summon, I told him I was thinking, and he was asking me on. And here I was thinking, okay, on the summon, I don't know the blackout in hand, but he has nothing in his grave. He has no follow-up, really. So if I can just wipe the board, I can bring my Eldlich back. I have a Scarlet that's going to set a Conquistador Wakero next turn. I have a D barrier to shut him down the following turn, as well as a TT. TT I'm about to activate. So I was thinking on the summon, and I go ahead and activate the Torrential Tribute. I'm going to wipe the board here. And I also have the Heavenly Prison in hand for next turn. So he goes ahead and scoops. So that was game 2. Game 2, obviously, we picked that one up. Now, game 3, obviously, I'm siding to go second. So we finished siding. He's going to go ahead and go first. And then he opens up with a Cosmic Cyclone, which is interesting now, seeing that. He has a Moyi, the Ecclesia, another Moyi, and an Imperial Order. I have Ice Dragon's Prison, Scarlet, Dimensional Barrier, Fusion Destiny, and a Torrential Tribute. So he's going to go ahead and summon the Moyi. Moyi effect's going to reveal a Moyi, bring out a token. And then that's going to go into his Synchro 8 into the Chaiyao. Chaiyao is then going to activate, and Moyi is going to draw. So Moyi draws him into a Blackout, which is a great card. And you're going to see actually make a misplay here. So this is a good learning lesson here on this one. He activates the Emergence. Emergence effect is going to search him on a Shuna. And then he is going to go ahead and set and pass to me. So he's got his Cosmic Cyclone set, his Imperial Order, and his Blackout, which that was what that card was the entire time. Now I know what that card was, which is very interesting. So you can see when I top deck another Fusion Destiny, which is fine. So I'm going to Fusion Destiny. He's going to chain IO, which is perfectly fine. And this is why I also like playing the Fusion Destiny package in this deck, is because your opponent, when they side against you, is going to side cards that don't really stop the main point of your deck, which is traps, right? They're going to side in stuff like Chalice, Droplet, IO, and Imperm that are going to stop your Enforcer and other things, but it's not going to stop your Trap, which is the main bread and butter of this deck. So, nope, good. And then he was thinking if he wanted to chain Cyclone, or maybe I'm not 100% sure here what he was thinking on. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and set 5. I set the Fusion Destiny. I'm thinking that this was probably Imperm because it's just me being me, you know, I'm setting this here. So I'm thinking that this is probably Imperm. So we're setting the IDP, the Scarlet, the Dimensional Barrier, and TT. Honestly, just a crazy lineup of traps. I'm just being 100% real here. So he's going to go ahead here, and he activates the Blackout. Now, this is where I misplayed. Was Blackout says target one worm monster you control and 2 cards your opponent controls and destroy them. So the targeting is the cost. If the target disappears off the field, Blackout still resolves. So here I should have chained Dimensional Barrier and locked him out of synchros. I didn't. I chained IDP to banish, thinking that the target would be gone, but that's not how that resolves. So we basically go through it all. We're thinking, we already started resolving, and here we go. So I'm like, okay, can I chain? He said no. I was like, we're in a tournament. So basically, he did not let me chain, which is correct because we were already resolving. So my D Barrier and TT are dead. And then my Ice Dragon's Prison went ahead and banished that, and Blackout's gone. So he's got a Cosmic set with an Imperial Order, and I have a dead Fusion Destiny with a Scarlet. So then he proceeds to go ahead and summon out Ashuna. Ashuna is going to link into the Link 1 Tenyi. And then Ashuna's effect's going to activate, and that's going to search him out a Vishuda. Vishuda will then come out, and those two are going to go into the Link 2. Or, I guess he goes into the double Link 1 here. Let's see what we semicolons matter. We're just still... I was like, well, learn something new from this dude, which is on the blackout, right? So now I know that blackout, even though if you get rid of the target, it still resolves. So he goes for that. He bounces my Fusion Destiny, which was a great bluff, honestly. I'm so happy that I set that card because that's the card that he ends up bouncing. And then he goes into the Link 2, which is the one that if a non-effect monster declares an attack, you can pop a card. And then we go into it some more. He attacks with the Link 2. I summon Lord. He then attacks into that, pops my Lord. So on this effect, so he pops my Lord with the Link 2 Tenyi. Scarlet has now resolved, but at least I have the Eldlich in the grave, and that was for follow-up to bring out so it can't be destroyed. And we get the cards right. He brings out the Ecclesia, and then the Ecclesia is going to go ahead and bring out the Mo Yi. Mo Yi effect is then going to resolve. Yep, so then he's going to show Mo Yi, so now I know his hand. He goes into that. And then this one caught me off guard, which was the Chaos Berserker is what he goes for. So he definitely played correctly because he knows that my Eldlich is my follow-up. And I can bring my Eldlich out. It can't be destroyed by card effects, so then I can literally attack right into this. So the Chaos Berserker was a great call because I can't activate my Eldlich effect. Then he activates Mo Yi, he draws into a Pot of Desires, and then he decides to pass, which Desires is obviously dead with the Imperial Order on. Now, looking at this board, I'm thinking that my round one is probably finished, and I need an insane top deck to be able to beat over this and to keep playing because I have some good follow-up. So for my top deck, you won't believe this, I pick up the Lava Golem, and he takes 700 for Imperial Order, and I said, well then, okay. I said, big think, because I just wanted to play this out in my head to make sure that I knew what was happening here. So I summon Lava Golem, I get rid of his Link 2 and his Berserker, and then I set the Fusion Destiny on end phase, or then I activate the Eldlich effect, send my Fusion Destiny, which now he's thinking, wow, that's the card I bounced in the hand. I bring out my Eldlich, which can't be destroyed by card effects and is now at 3,500 attack. I hit his Tenyi for 2,500 damage, get that off the board. And then on this, I Scarlet, and I'm going to set a Conquistador. And then I am passing on this. Now, on his standby phase, he's taking 1,000 for Lava Golem and 700 for Imperial Order. So, draw phase, he picks up a Long Young, which is a really good top deck. Standby, he takes 1,700, put him down to 2,400. Main phase 1, he goes ahead and, let's see what he decides. He summons Mo Yi. Mo Yi effect, reveal Long Young. That top deck was insane for him too. He needed that. And I'm thinking, I said token is fine. So, on the token, before he can synchro off, I'm going to go ahead, Conquistador, activate, summon and pop the token, so that way he can't go into his synchro. I'm getting rid of the tuner, and then he's gonna put Lava Golem into attack. Now at this point, I thought for sure that he was going to be attacking Lava Golem into my Eldlich. He's gonna take 500, but at least get this off the board. So I thought for sure that that was the play that he was gonna go into, and that way he doesn't have to take 1,000 on his next standby phase. Especially with Mo Yi being left on the field with 1,700 attack. But let's see, he decides to attack my Conquistador instead, which I'm not really 100% sure on that play. I think he should have attacked my Eldlich, to be honest with you, and at least got the Lava Golem off the field. And then I top deck a TT. He takes 700 from IO, and then I'm basically just asking to make sure that Lava Golem burns. So I'm going to fast forward through this. I Eldlich attack him. He takes 900, set 1. Conquistador, set Scarlet, and then here we get into an entire conversation, which you can comment down below what you think. But basically, he has no out, and Lava Golem is going to burn him for 1,000. And that is how we win round 1 of the Dragonriders tournament for a booster box of Burst of Destiny. So Yeah, we ended up with GG's and everything, and we commented in and we found out. So Lava Golem actually seals the win in the round 1 against Swordsoul Tenyi. Eldlich wins. So headed on to round 2. We'll get you on that video. And then Shane's also in this tournament. I'm not sure what deck he decided to play, but you're going to see his round 1 matchup, and let's see if he picks up the win as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This has been a great duel, great video. I'm happy to bring it to you. And if you have any comments, let us know below. Questions, we'll answer them, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.